Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhur Muhur. My pranams at the feet of revered Maharaj and namaskars to all of you. Mysuriಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ I feel the emotional energy I have for Mysore because we started our spiritual life from here and ಅದು ತುಂಬ ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು ಇವಾಗ, but it still feels like yesterday. And when I used to come here as a college girl, ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ಕೂಡ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಸೋಮನಾಥಾನಂದಜಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜ್ ಇದ್ದರು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸುರೇಶಾನಂದಜಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜ್ ಇದ್ದರು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿತ್ಯಸ್ಥಾನಂದಜಿ ಇದ್ದರು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ವೆರಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಏಜ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ಡ್ ಟು ದ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫೀಸ್, ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೇಂಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದೀಸ್. That has been the blessing of my life. And whatever, I have no words of gratefulness for what I received at Mysore. I was initiated here in Mysuru Ashrama, and there was an atmosphere of tapasya here. Mysuru Ashrama ಅಂದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಮೆಮರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಇರೋದು. ಮೈಸೂರು ಆಶ್ರಮ ಶೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೀಪ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಭಜನೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಪುಸ್ತಕ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಓದೋದು. ಸೊ ಮೈ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಲೈಫ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ಐ ಸ್ಪೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಡಿಡ್ ವೆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್. ಸೊ ಐ ವುಡ್ ಸೇ ಡೀಪ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ನನಗೆ ಮೈಸೂರು ಅಂದರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್, ಸಿ ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಟುಡೇ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, Vedanta, is that the beauty of the whole system of this philosophy is it is telling you the bare truth as it is. As it is telling us the truth. Now, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸತಿ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, I am bound and I have to adopt a means to go to liberation. This is the general understanding. Vedanta will straight away tell us, this is the mighty philosophy. Vivekananda used to say, it is the simplest way in which you can put truth. That is Advaita Vedanta. The simplest way in which you can put truth. It will tell you right from the beginning, you were never bound. Now ankondidivi ashte. And so there is no real liberation also. It is only about realizing that I am ever liberated. Realization andre eno? Something is already there, but I saw it just now. It's not a creation, it's not an invention, it's not a discovery, it's a realization. Ad already ಇದೆ. Our very ಸ್ವರೂಪ, ನಾವು ಏನು ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಂತೀವೋ, that itself is the Atman, existence, consciousness and bliss. All the problem is created by our compulsive mind. ಅದೇ ಬೇರೆ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ನಮಗೆ, that no, you are personality, you are ego, you are, this is your qualification, this is your social status. It gives us all these definitions of ourselves. So the method becomes self-enquiry. Ad enquiry ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು. Then what is my swarupa? What is my real nature? So you see, if you actually see the method used by Vedanta, ಈ ಮೆಥಡೇ ಅವರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. Self-enquiry itself is as sharp as meditation. ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡದೆ ಇದು ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅದು ಅನ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಮೆನಿ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದಟ್ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಎವರ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್. ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು. ಸೊ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಅ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ವೇದಾಂತ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಅಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಪರಿಚಯ ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದು. That you are already pure and perfect, pure consciousness itself, existence itself, and bliss itself, insinuating as a human being. It's an appearance. Look at your identity, analyze it and see, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಇದಿದೆ, ಏನು ಶಾಶ್ವತವಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ the very crux of our identity about. Just think and see. Everything is changing. About body, about mind, about ego, about our compulsive habits and tendencies and habits of mind. Everything changes. Only thing which doesn't change is consciousness. The fact that I am. ನಾನು ಇದ್ದೀನೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ನೋಡಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಾನು ಇದ್ದೀನಂತ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ in any experience, and even without any experience, the fact that I am cannot be doubted. So this is the point in Vedanta, to find out what is that I amness about. If you scrutinize and see deeply, I pertains to consciousness, am pertains to existence. This is our real nature, existence, consciousness and bliss. So ide Vedanta is reintroducing us to our own true being. Either discovery and the way we will realize this, that itself is so exciting and beautiful. So a life of sadhana is really a life of high energy, of great clarity of mind, of purity of life, and of high-mindedness, great goals to achieve. So anta ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನೆ ಪಥ, ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಇದು motto and goal, if we have, life becomes very beautiful. I can tell you, I really don't know how 30 years passed since I left Mysuru. It was like 1 minute, because I enjoyed every bit of my sadhana life. The very nature of sadhana is it fills the heart and mind with sweetness. Sadhana ilde idre, life is just tragic, because you are being guided by your mind, which is totally conditioned by the external ella tara tendencies, sanskaras, habits. You have no respite. You don't have space to breathe. ಆ ಥರ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಆಗೋಗತ್ತೆ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಸಾಧನೆ. ಸಾಧನೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಯು ಆರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅ ಫುಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲೋನ್ ಲೋಟಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್. ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮೈಂಡು, ಕಾಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಶೋ ಯು ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್. So that's why you see Thakur gave us this equation, alva. Pure mind is equal to pure buddhi is equal to pure Atman. That is the way to Atma Vidya, Atma Gnan. Generate the pure mind. That's all we have to do. So the method also is simple. The goal also is simple. She is showing our state of mind without sadhane. This is the state of the mind. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಧನೆ ಇರಲ್ವೋ, the mind will keep crying for this experience, that experience. It is unable to analyze anything. It is a bundle of confusion. And ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಧನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ, there is scintillating clarity of mind. And you are sparkling with intelligence, because you are deeply aware. Not aware of an object. Awareness. Pure awareness. That is our real nature. See, that is the glory of Vedanta, reintroducing ourselves, to our real self. And then you will understand, from that vantage point, we understand how we will function. ಈ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸು ನಂಗೆ ಮೈಸೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ದಿಸ್. ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ shrine and meditate for a long time. And I used to feel at the end of that meditation, without this meditation, how crazy I would be. How crazy the mind would function. Because always it is overflowing with thought. That stillness will bring us into this understanding naturally. And without stillness, see, if we are not still, we will kill ourselves. The mind will kill us. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind. All sadhana, that is why it pertains to mind. In mind is bondage, and in mind is liberation. So getting a hold over the mind through sadhana is the most important thing in spiritual life. So we will discuss only this much. If we have not tried time-tested techniques of mind management like meditation, chanting, puja, bhajane, good reading, good exposures, then we are just wasting our life. There are so many methods, time-tested methods for mind management. See, when I talk in IITs and all, no, I have to give them very definite methods. Dodda practical irutte every course ge. So there we have these same old methods, it's old wine in a new bottle we are giving them. Same old methods in a modern scientific format we are giving. So this is very important. Without sadhana, life is a sheer waste of time. And you will realize it quickly, the way the mind will go. So in Vedanta then, see, it's all connected. That's why yoga leads to Vedanta. All the 4 yogas will lead to the clarity of mind, which will give us the knowledge of the self. The self-knowledge, don't think it is some great goal to achieve. It is already achieved. We already are the self, which is getting reflected in the mind, giving us a sense of identity to which we get attached to and functioning as a personality and asking for self-knowledge. This is the problem. Ide actually ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನಮ್ಮೊಳಗಡೆ. So when this is the truth of our experience, first thing we should understand in human life is how to handle mind, how to keep it at that level of clarity where I will definitely be so deeply aware I can find solution to every problem and I can handle it very well so that it will never go out of control, so that it will really build my life. This is the whole point. Secret of spiritual life. How to handle mind. There is this very beautiful conversation in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad between sage Janaka and Yajnavalkya. So Yajnavalkya is a Brahma Jnani, Brahma Rishi, and Janaka is a Raj Rishi. He's a king cum Rishi. So there's a conversation between these two which is recorded in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The conversation goes like this. Sage Janaka asks Yajnavalkya, okay, tell me, by what light do we see objects and everything in the world? What is that light? Avagela ee lights irlilvalla. So what is the light by which I perceive? My perception happens due to which light? So then first Yajnavalkya said, well, it's sunlight. And then Sage Janaka said, suppose there was no sunlight. Then how would you see things? He says, why moonlight, starlight? Suppose no moonlight or starlight, they didn't arise at all. How would you see? Then he says, why speech? Speech and touch. I would know my way through objects, through touch and speech. Then Sage Janaka says, suppose these faculties were taken away from you. You could not speak, you could not share information and data, and you could not touch. Then how would you know? Then he says, by consciousness I would know. Because I am a self-aware entity, that is the primary source of my knowledge. That illumines the mind, generates vrittis and gives me knowledge of objects. So I am the light of lights. The self, the Atman, that is the light of lights. It illumines the mind, and through the mind we know. We use the instrumentation of the mind to know, but the source of that instrument is the self, the Atman. So you see, if you want to have to do mind management ivaga, and know about how to handle all the things in my life, because if you know how to handle mind, you can handle time, you can handle people, you can handle everything in your life. So, but for that, self-knowledge is required, because that is the source of our mind, very source of our mind, which means what? Awareness, how to bring it to the forefront. When the mind becomes fully aware, it controls itself. It will control its tendencies. So how to become deeply aware? The question boils down to this. How do I tackle my mind or control my mind? It boils down to how do I become deeply conscious within myself? So, yella sadhane pertains to this. All sadhana pertains to this. Whether you are following Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Raja Yoga or Karma Yoga, whichever yoga, whether you are following Vedanta or you are following Shakta philosophy, Shaiva philosophy, all sadhana pertains to this much only. So to go to this source of the mind, of the thought process, self-knowledge, Hegadru Madi, Thakur used to say, no, somehow to get to this becomes very important. You can use enquiry as a direct means to get into this, coupled with meditation. Coupled with meditation. And what happens as a result? Now enquiry ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಯಾವುದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ enquiry ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ? We are asking for our own real nature. What is the self? ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆತ್ಮ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಆತ್ಮ ಅಂದರೆ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನದು? See, I am asking, I am turning the mind inward naturally. The very nature of real self-enquiry is a kind of meditation. Idu Shankaracharya's commentaries, it is already there that dhyana in Advaita Vedanta, dharana and dhyana actually means keeping the mind in the heart, stilling the mind in the heart so that awareness comes to the forefront. So you see, there are great methods to achieve our goals. ಅದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸಾಧನೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇದು ಗೋಚರವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. It becomes clear to the mind and it delights the mind. A strongly conditioned mind never experiences real delight. But an empty mind empty of ego, of compulsive habits, is always delighted. ಆನಂದವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಮೈಂಡು. Because it is close to its source. It is close to awareness. Awareness contributes to happiness. So you see, this is sadhana, this clarity comes into our mind naturally. That is why if you watch the lives of saints, you will see not that they were too much of knowing, but knowing had translated into being. Their very presence radiated high awareness, high consciousness, a peace all around. So every mind would become peaceful in their presence. Shri Mate Sharda Devi life nodi. Ekdam ಆಡಂಬರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂಚೂರು ಶೋ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಂಚೂರು ಇದಿಲ್ಲ, ಈಗೋ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮದರ್ಸ್ ಲೈಫ್, whole day. See, once I'll tell you a beautiful incident. How whole day mother served devotees with such delight, with so much love, and without any self-consciousness at all, without any sense of ego. Once one lady came to Udbodhan, where mother was living, and she told mother, Ma, ami ektu upadesh chahiye. I want nang salpa upadesha kodi about the inner life, about spiritual life. And mother said, Bosho ma, sit down. And then mother was, at that time, mother had to do worship of Thakur. So then mother went and did the worship and then brought and gave her prasad. Then mother sat to dress vegetables. After that, she cut so many vegetables for the next 1 hour. After that, she went into the kitchen and started helping the cooks. Then after that, she came out, she offered whatever was cooked again to Thakur. She offered the bhog, and then she fed all the devotees with so much love and care. See, whoever came to Holy Mother, they actually thought they came into the lap of their mother. Look at the power of mother in that simple guise. Every man, woman and child would feel he has come into the lap of his mother. She radiated that intense Matra Bhav, due to which everybody felt that they had come to their mother only. If you look deeply into the eyes of Holy Mother, you will see your mother there. That Matra Bhav was so intense. So then she came and fed all the devotees to her heart's content, and then she sat for food with this lady who had come to question her. No? Then this lady asked her, Mother, I thought you will instruct me, give me some instruction, some upadesha. And mother said, I am instructing you all the time. ನೀನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅಮ್ಮ, ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಉಪದೇಶನೇ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Life is the upadesha. Being is knowing. There is no vritti gnyan in Vedant. ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ತುಂಬ ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಜಿಮ್ನಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು, ನಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎನಿ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ದ್ಯಾಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಬೈ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್, by the calmness of your mind, you will definitely come to that. So, you see, the life is the greatest teaching always. It is not about, Vedanta knowledge is not about vrittis. Objective knowledge is like that. Atman is not an object. So, vritti jnana will never suffice. It is about turning mind inward. Sadhana is the way. Whatever we know in spiritual life, you can only know through sadhana. So that is why keep that up. That is the most essential part of the spiritual life. So what is sadhana now? What does it constitute? What are the primary steps? So adu tumba chanagi heltare Vedantadalli. The primary qualifications for Vedantic knowledge is sadhan chatushtay. ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, sadhana chatushtay ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Fourfold discipline for the realization of Vedanta. To actually decondition our minds, to actually dehypnotize our soul. There are 4 methods. Not methods, they are actually disciplines. So the first is what is called Vivek. Vivek. We know what is Vivek. Now, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಹೆಸರು ವಿವೇಕ್ ಅಂತ ಇಡ್ತೀವಿ. But you know, Vivek, if that one thing is there, the rest will follow. Vairagya will follow, Shat Sampati will follow, and Mumukshutvam will follow. Because it is clearly discerning the goal and understanding. See, the beauty of Vedanta is understanding is like light. That metaphor of light is always used in understanding. Once you can discern clearly what is real and what is unreal, what is permanent and what is temporary, what is actually there and what is assumed to be there, then job is half done almost. But this should come with the clarity of insight which comes out of a lot of, deep practice. So this is the real Vivek. Vivek idre Vairagya taanagi barutte. See, if you know something to be real, will you ever go towards the unreal? You will not do it automatically. If you know something to be really good, will you go towards that which is not so good? So automatic ಆಗಿ ವೈರಾಗ್ಯ ಬರೋದು. You don't have to work on it. It will come if there is Vivek. Cause-effect relationship ಇದೆ between Vivek and Vairagya. And if Vivek is there, Shat Sampati also will come. It is a group of 6 qualities which are mandatory for Vedantic realization. What are these 6 group of qualities? First is what is called Shama, calmness of mind. If this is not there, you will not even be normal. Second is Dama, which means ability to control mind. If this is there, you are suddenly sparkling with intelligence, because mind has this quality of, you see, Dama idre, if there is ability to control mind, mind will yield its greatest fruit, knowledge. Otherwise it will not. We may think we are very knowledgeable. Yenu illa alli. So the primary thing is Shama, Dama, and third is Uparati. Uparati andre, Rati andre to move outwards, out of passion, attachment. Uparati andre to move inwards, away from attachments. The ability of the mind to turn inward. This is Uparati. Then we have Titiksha. Titiksha ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ. ಸಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಡ್ಯುಯಲ್ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಫ್ ಐ ಗೆಟ್ ಓವರ್ವೆಲ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದ್ಯಾಟ್, ದೆನ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದ ಲೂಸರ್. ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಟು ಬೇರ್ ದ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್. ತುಂಬ ಇರಿಟೇಟೆಡ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಬೇರ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್. ಏನೂ ಸಹನೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಆವಾಗ. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಕಾಮ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈಂಡ್, you can bear with it is great forbearance. You can bear with everything. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam titiksha iti uchyate. Shankaracharya's definition. Ability to bear the opposites of life without chinta or vilap. Chintenu illa, vilapanu illa. No complaints, no negativities, no talking about it even. that state of mind. Yenta one state of mind nodi adu. Titikshe, mother was the very embodiment of Titiksha. Holy Mother Shri Sharda Devi. Look at her life to learn Titiksha. Ella types of odd, crazy people were around her. How she conducted herself. How she conducted. In fact, she would defend them. That was mother. So, Titiksha is a great quality for Vedantic knowledge. Uparati Titiksha Shraddha. Shraddha andre definition of Shankaracharya is Astikya Buddhi is Shraddha. Affirmative state of mind. If you are a doubting Thomas at every little thing, it means the mind is restless ashte. If there is calmness of mind, Shraddha will naturally come. An affirmative state of mind. You are able to see reality as it is and move towards it. You respect it. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡಿ ಯಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೋ ದೇ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ವಾಯಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಯೋಗಸ್ಯ ಪ್ರಥಮ ದ್ವಾರ ವಾಂಗ್ ನಿರೋಧ್. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ದ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ಯು. ದೀಸ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ಯು. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ವಾಯಟ್. ಇಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್, ಬಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಥರ. ಇಫ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಟೂ ಮಚ್, ದೆನ್ ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್. ಸೊ ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್. Shraddha and then Samadhan. Samadhan ಅಂದರೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೋಕಸ್. ಸಮಾಧಾನದಿಂದ ಇರೋದಲ್ಲ. ಫೋಕಸ್, ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಅಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ರಿವೆಟೆಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಗೋಲ್. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು 10 ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದು, ವೇಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್. ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಸಾಧಕ್. If we seriously are aiming at elevating life, these will be the characteristics. Ide Vedantadalli helta irodu. Again and again they tell us this. Focus will naturally come if you know the other Shat Sampati qualities are there. You will remain riveted on the real. So these are the precious group of Shat Sampati andre Sampati idu treasure. Ee 6 qualities idre it is very easy to get the knowledge of Vedanta. Atma Vidya. And last is most important qualification, mumukshutvam irbeko, which means, see, ordinarily it is translated as desire for liberation. Are, if you don't know what is bondage, how will you know what is liberation? So feeling the nature of bondage within myself. See, what is the meaning of bondage here? A compulsive mind conditioned towards negativity, radiating hate and anger and passion. And this mind is a real tragedy to oneself. ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಅದು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ವಿಷಯ. ಬಟ್ ಟು ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಪೋಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಬ್ಲೇಮಿಂಗ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್, ಯು ಸಿ, ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್. ಇಫ್ ಈ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಾಂಡೇಜ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ವೆನ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೌಂಡ್, which means compulsive and conditioned wrongly, then it will have no peace within itself. So it cannot give peace to others. And it is a deep sorrow within oneself. Idakke existential angst anta heltare, which means existence itself is creating anxiety. No other external factor is required. This is a very tragic state to reduce the mind to, very tragic state. So take care of it. Without core values in life and deep ethical disciplines and all these sadhanas, the mind will misbehave. ಇವಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ, because I deal with students, I know very well the problems of this modern age are very characteristics to this age. ತುಂಬ ಓವರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್, ಓವರ್ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್, ನೋ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್, ನೋ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಅದು ಬೇಡ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಪೊಸಿಷನ್. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್, we must understand the nature of the wrongly conditioned mind. It is a huge trap. It is the experience of hell, right where you are. Milton said this, the mind can create a hell out of heaven and a heaven out of hell. Yes. And if if this is how the mind functions, how much should we take care of it? Another one great comedian, he has mentioned this. He said, my life is full of disasters, none of which ever happened. My life is full of disasters, none of which ever happened. My mind created disasters in my life. Actually, adiyeno agle illa. But my mind created it. It suffered and poked itself all the time. So you see, without discipline, without sadhana, we can reduce ourselves to these states. Adake primarily in mumukshutvam, we must understand the nature of the compulsive conditioned mind and work for the liberation of the mind from these states. Primarily ado. And next, after that will come really experiencing the higher awareness. See, empty mind will naturally unravel higher awareness. Adakke bere discipline madbekagilla. But these tendencies of the mind, which are so hurtful to itself, these must be overcome. Adakke the primary aspects of spiritual life are always, moral, ethical. These are the primary things. Nam life alli, these core values, you must hold on to them with all grit. Absolutely. And everything is built on that. But if the foundation is not there, how will you raise a skyscraper? Tell me. So these are the primary pre-qualifications for the knowledge of Vedanta. Yavdu? Viveka, Vairagya, Shatsampati, adalirodu, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan. And Mumukshutvam. That's the fourth. Real yearning for the higher life. Not just because you're fed up with your mind, but because there is a higher goal, which is the goal of human life. Sri Ramakrishna used to say this, the only goal of human life is the realization of God. Earning money, raising a family, it's okay. You require only little energy to do all that. But to realize God, you have to elevate mind, purify mind. So these are the most important disciplines. Once now parangata adre ee disciplines alli, naturally the goal will come to you. Not that you are now struggling for the goal. Thakur used to say, you take one step towards God, he will take 10 steps towards you. Alva? Thakur has made it so easy for us to understand. But our one step now togobeko. And as a result, what happens is the mind develops a level of clarity which keeps it happy all the time. And high awareness is equal to high happiness. All the time. Actually speaking, happiness is an exponential function of awareness. Idalla in our meditative life you can find out by yourself. When there's no awareness, low awareness and too much thought and wrongly conditioned thought, there will be only sorrow. When there is empty mind and high awareness, there will be only happiness. These are the equations of spiritual life. So once we understand the nature of our mind, how to train it, how to move towards this, things become very easy. And this is what, the divine trio, Thakur, Holy Mother, Sri Sharda Devi radiated in their lives. They may not have said it in so many words, but they lived in this consciousness. It is a perfect possibility to realize Vedanta in this very life. This is the fulfillment of life. Now we are all searching for the same thing, happiness. Peace and happiness. Everyone. Sadhus and non-sadhus and devotees and everyone are searching for the same thing. Only we understood it lies here, and maybe somebody did not understand it lies here. It lies in somewhere else. So, change of understanding. That is sadhana. Through all these disciplines, this is what will happen. On the Vedantic way, this is what happens. Our understanding gets so refined. You have now a knowledge which doesn't have a challenge. For the simple reason, it is original knowledge, original thought. It is not synthetic thought borrowed from somebody, from somewhere. So sadhana gives you this inner independence, inner clarity, and inner joy. Naturally. Then whatever you do, you will be successful. You know, a human being who's like this, who's radiant with joy by himself, he will be successful everywhere. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಆ ಥರ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಆ ಥರ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಸಾಧನ್ ಚತುಷ್ಟಯ becomes very important for the spiritual aspirant. It is not enough to just keep listening to Vedant. There must be this sadhana. Then when you listen, it will spark off the actual thing. ಸಾಧನೆ ಜೊತೆ ಅದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. This is one of the fundamentals of the spiritual life. One more thing I will tell you. See, the very nature of our being is Atman, pure consciousness. Then why are we always lamenting on the tendencies of our mind? ನಾವು ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಓವರ್ ಅಸ್. That rules over us in everyday life, in practical life. The tendencies of our mind are ruling over us. That is why sadhana is required to change the ways of the mind. But the reality of your being is always divine. It is always divine. Ever present divinity adu. It is undoubtable. And in the lives of saints, Thakur Ma Swamiji life alli ನೀವು ನೋಡಿ, this is how they saw all people. This is how they saw the other ಅಂತ ಯಾರೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದು ತುಂಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ದಟ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ maybe we can conclude the talk. See, this incident actually happened long back. Sometime in 1940s, Swami Vishuddhananji Maharaj, he was the 8th president of Ramakrishna Order, and he had gone to Dakshineshwar Kali temple. ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಆ ದಕ್ಷಿಣೇಶ್ವರ ಕಾಳಿ ಟೆಂಪಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಒಂದು ಸತಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ that path which leads from Sri Ramakrishna's room to Panchavati, you know, that narrow path is there. So laid with stones and all that. So that path, he suddenly saw a old gardener. He looked like a gardener. ತುಂಬ ವಯಸ್ಸಾದವರು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು he is removing all those thistles and pebbles and ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ he is removing. Then Maharaj saw that in that heat he is sweating and ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಆದರೂ ಆ ಥರ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So Maharaj came to him and told him, आपने क्यों करछेन एटा? Why are you doing it? And he said, ठाकुर আমাকে বলেছেন. Then Maharaj said, ठाकुर की बोलेन आपनाके? And he didn't tell. Then after some time again Maharaj came, again he was doing the same thing. Again Maharaj asked him, ठाकुर की बोलेছেন आपनाके? Then he gave out his story. See, when he came to this temple garden, he was only a teenager. That was sometime in 1880s, first part of 1880s. When he had come, he was only a teenager, a young boy. And he was looking for work. They gave him the work of sweeping somewhere in the garden, sweeping and removing weeds and all that. And he would see everybody respected Thakur so much that he kept his distance. From a distance he would see what Thakur was doing. And Sri Ramakrishna, he is so radiant with holiness and spirituality. When he would walk, everybody would know that effulgent face radiating godliness, holiness. So they would fall at his feet and this boy would bow down to him from a distance. Then one day it so happened at night, he was loitering around in those grounds. ಇವಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾರ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಫುಲ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪಂಚವಟಿ ವಾಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬೇಲ್ತಲ ವಾಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫುಲ್ ಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅವನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಆನ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಗಂಗಾ, ದೇರ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಿಡ್ ನೈಟ್ ಅವತ್ತು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಹಿ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಸಾ ಅ ಬ್ಲೂ ಲೈಟ್ ಇನ್ ಬೇಲ್ತಲ, ನಾಟ್ ಪಂಚವಟಿ, ಬೇಲ್ತಲ. he saw a blue light and he thought, "Eta kothay theke asche? How is this light coming?" And so he went in that direction. He went there and he peeped like this into the, Beltala, no? That huge bale tree is there, and then there is a place for, and that Panchamundi asan is there. Now Thakur is sitting on that asan. He saw this, and he is luminous with ecstasy and radiating a blue light all around him to such an extent this boy could see it from that distance. And his face is so effulgent with divine bliss. What he is feeling and experiencing, he only knows. Just looking at him, this boy started crying. Is this possible? Thakur was wrapped in meditation. And this boy is seeing, and then that blue light all around. It was yellow-blue. He describes it like that. And then he understood this is divine. This is not a normal human being. So after a few minutes, he stepped back. Quietly, he went back to the Ganga, where he was sitting on the steps. And the whole night he spent there. He could not sleep that night. Next day morning, he went and did his ablutions and came back. And he saw Thakur is quietly now coming out of his room as if nothing has happened. And then he saw him and he thought, this same person yesterday midnight, he was looking like a god. And then he came and he fell at Thakur's feet. And he said, Thakur, you have to save me. You have to save me. Thakur suddenly said, Ki re, aaj tor etto bhakti kano? Why are you so devoted today? Then looking at his face, Thakur said, oh, yesterday you saw me in that state. Then he gave this very important instruction for all of us, it applies. Thakur said, Oi murtir upar dhyan korbi, ar ei rasta parishkar rakbi. Meditate on that form which you saw yesterday. That lit, effulgent form radiating the highest consciousness bliss. Meditate on that and keep this road clean. Keep the road of your life clean. Because that is your way to God. These are the two instructions which Thakur is giving all devotees through this boy. Meditate on him. It is not different. Brahma Jnana is not different from meditating on him. This is the easy path. Just meditate on him. It will put your mind into his state of consciousness naturally. And keep the road of your life utterly clean. Without which spiritual discipline will not be possible. This elevated life will not be possible. Clean means in every way pure. Something which can be offered to the divine. That kind of life. So Thakur is giving us this instruction to all devotees through the medium of that boy. If this is there, Vedanta and all, it will enter your life even without asking. Ishte now madbekagirodu. Devotion to God, meditation on God, and keeping our life pure, radiant, holy, because this is important for sadhana. So you see, the way to the realization of Vedanta, Thakur helbittidare in such simple terms. If we can do this, see what greater joy can there be than this, tell me. An elevated mind gives you real original joy, and an external object can only give you a synthetic limited joy. Idukke psychologically idu dodda concept, it's called hedonic treadmill. You can check it out on the net. Nam tumba lectures alli nav helidivi idu. Why we give that example is for the young mind today. It is wanting to explore all the different arenas of life. But this much you should understand. 4 rasgullas will not give me the happiness which 1 rasgulla gave me. Understand this. After a certain point, increase in objects in your life will not contribute to your happiness. Rather, emptying mind will contribute to your happiness. This fundamental fact, if we can understand, naturally Yoga Vedanta will come into your life. So that is why that book is there, Science of Happiness. If you are interested, place an order at Delhi Mission where we are and you will get the book. Totally we have covered this, the science of happiness. Yes, I don't know if it's here. It's here? Oh, you can buy it right here. Yes, it's on Amazon also. It is going all around the world, I can tell you, only for the simple reason how awareness contributes to happiness has been researched in that. And why we should become deeply conscious for a really mature life. So this is one thing which I wanted to tell you about the book, and one more thing which I want to tell you is Samvit. I want you to subscribe to Samvit. We don't have many subscribers from Mysuru, and I really believe Mysuru is knowledge center. So you must subscribe to Samvit. It is the only English journal of Sri Sharda Math. Prabhupada Bharat tarane ide, Vedanta Keshri tara irutte. Only it is biannual. You will get it only twice a year in March and September. But it will have very good content. If you keep these things in your homes, you won't have to teach morality to your children. Tanagi banbidutte, because they know what you respect. So they will start respecting it. They will start imbibing it. Keep this kind of literature in your home. Very, very important. Don't leave them to the mercy of the internet. Keep elevating literature in your home. It's very important. To bring values into the home, all this becomes important. So let us make this policy. Now, one elevated life we want, we will keep very good habits. We will practice sadhana chatushtay. We will keep a clean life. We will keep elevated literature at home. Simple points. So after this talk, those of you who would want to subscribe, idu eshtu cheap agide andre, it's 300 rupees for 5 years. The price of your dosa here. Illa Delhi alli ad price ide. So the thing is so cheap, for 5 years you will get Samvit. And keep this in your home. I would request Gauri to please take those of you who want to subscribe, give your names and addresses, email ID and phone number to her. As soon as it comes into my hands, we'll start sending you Samvit. You can subscribe for 5 years, it's only 300 rupees. So with this, I would like to conclude my talk, because Aarti will begin and we will prepare to go there and meditate on Thakur. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
A very good evening to all of you. I am sure after attending today's evening talk, you all return home happy about the decision you've made to spend your Sunday evening at Sri Ramakrishna Ashrama Mysuru and got a chance to listen to revered Mataji Pravrajika Divyanandaprana. I, on behalf of Sri Ramakrishna Ashrama Mysuru, all the monks and devotees, thank revered Mataji for addressing us this evening. Revered Mataji enlightened us about the essentials of spiritual life in such a simple and beautiful way, which was easy for all of us to connect to. We are grateful to Revered Mataji for accepting our invitation at a very short notice and addressing all of us today. I also thank Revered Swami Muktiyanandaji Maharaj for arranging this beautiful session for all of us today evening. Thank you all for attending. Jai Ma. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.